Okay, I didn't take any audio while we were going through traveling, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover, but we made it through security and Paige fell asleep right after we took off and she slept for about 20 minutes. We had to wake up at 5:30 that morning, which is super early for her, and so she definitely needed more than a 20-minute nap, but it was what it was. She had tons of snacks. We had brought her sippy cups so we could fill them up after we got through security. I put movies on her iPad. I brought her toys and books. We did everything we could to keep her entertained, and for the most part, she did good, but she did have a couple of little fits. Um, we brought her her own bag because most airlines will allow you to bring your child their own diaper bag, even if they are a lap child. And we were also lucky that she got her own seat on the plane, both flights. We picked up our rental car in Orlando and then drove 40 minutes to Cocoa Beach. Okay, it's currently 12:44 the time, and they're 3 hours ahead of like what our normal time is, but we are exhausted. We got up at 5:30 this morning to drive to the airport, get on the airplane, get over here. I took a couple clips, so I'll insert those like right here, but I did not take a whole lot of video because there's ups and downs. She did, like Paige did okay sometimes, and then other times she was screaming, crying. So, you know, we made it. That's all I care about, but we're just gonna go to bed tonight and then I will update you in the morning. We woke up and went to Acai Express, which is a little acai bowl place in Cocoa Beach. Paige, Garrett, and I all loved it. We just sat on the street outside the shop and enjoyed it. After we got breakfast, we went back to the hotel. We stayed at a little resort. It's called Westgates Resort. It was right across the street from the beach, which was so fun. We didn't plan on getting in the water or anything. It was so windy this day, so you could not hear anything I was saying, but we just walked along the beach, let Paige experience the ocean for the first time. You could kind of tell in that first clip that she didn't know how to feel about it, but it was fun. We enjoyed it. We woke up this morning and we were gonna go to the beach, but now it's thunderstorming out so bad, so we're waiting for that to pass and then going to the beach, hopefully. To go boogie boarding, Garrett's just swimming. There's no boards. The beach is all the way back there. Trying not to die or get eaten by a shark. Mallory's boogie boarding with me. After we went to Ranjan, we stopped at Poke Fin, which is a poke bowl place, and got some poke bowls for dinner. They were so good.
Say yay!
Okay, the next day we went kayaking. That is a manatee. As soon as we got in, there's a manatee right there. And he just followed us for like the first 20 minutes. It was super cool. We all got to see him. He would come up behind our boats. We also saw non-poisonous jellyfish. You could just catch them up out of the water. Garrett caught one. I never got footage of it, but it was kind of gross. It was like a slimy booger. I never touched it, but he did throw it on me. That's on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's on a story highlight from Cocoa Beach. This was such a fun expedition that we did. We saw the manatee, we saw dolphins, we saw lots of cool birds. We got a kayak through mangroves, which is what that was. It was such a good time. This is called Fin Expeditions. They're in Cocoa Beach, and if you ever go there, I highly recommend doing this. Garrett and I really enjoyed it. After we got back from kayaking, we got Paige and took her down to this lazy river. This was part of our resort. There's also a giant splash pad and a giant pool. So it was a great resort for kids. We loved it. Okay, that same night, we got to watch a rocket launch from the beach. So we walked across the street, and SpaceX was launching 60 Starlink satellites up, and so we got to watch that happen. It was super cool. It was way cooler in person, but I'm so glad that we got to experience that while we were down there as well. The next day, we got to go parasailing. So Garrett and I went, and then my sister and my dad went as well. Paige stayed back with my mom. Obviously, she's way too young to go parasailing, but this was such a cool experience, other than the fact that I was so seasick. I've been on a cruise and I grew up boating, so I typically don't get seasick. I never have before, so I was surprised that I was as sick as I was, but I ended up throwing up off the back of the boat during this trip, which sucked, but parasailing itself was super cool. If you ever have a chance to do it, I highly recommend. Just don't go on a day when the waves are rough. And if you do, take lots of Dramamine, even though the Dramamine didn't help me. But here's a few clips of us parasailing.